can you share your main
objectives?
Yes.
Okay.
So that you discussed before you went in, what was your contract and what were the main concerns that you have?
So this time when I was doing colonoscopy, I wanted my trainer to tell me a bit about my posture. I feel that my position is a bit compromising, and of course in this situation where the bed was a bit higher than myself, I was hoping to get some guidance about how I could consciously keep myself a bit more comfortable. Another thing that I wanted my trainer to keep in mind is that if there was ever a leak in the scope, then if you could help me somehow deal with it. So these were my two objectives: posture and a technique to do.
How do you think that how can you improve?
How can I prove?
So first you asked her how she has done and what things she did well. And then you have to tell her what she did well. And then you have to ask her how can she make things better in the future, keeping in mind the objectives that you had discussed initially.
I think you were well used in advancing your scope and your thoughts and vision, the comfort of the patient. And so are you able to start the plus point?
So what was yours again? Posture and?
Posture and technique to do.
Technique to
Guidance for you.
Okay.
I think there was a problem because mostly because of the height of the table and also the angle of the screen was towards the right or the level. That is because of technical reasons.
So what did she do well in that procedure? She's already told you what she thought she did well. So thinking about the posture, did she ever change her position? She's thinking about her posture. Did she ever change her position throughout?
How was she standing throughout the procedure?
She was very close to the patient. I have pointed out twice that they should.
So what should she wanted to have good posture? Okay. So if we're actually looking at it, you know now that there's a point what you want to make later on what she could have done better, but what did she do well with regard to posture?
Okay. No, try to keep some distance.
No, what did she do well regarding the posture throughout the procedure?
Posture and
Yeah, she was, she was not bending and she was upright during the procedure.
No choice because the bed's up here.
She's
And with regard removing a loop,
Yes, we were facing, she was a little facing
What did she do well regarding the deal?
she was withdrawing the scope slowly. That was the point. Right top, sweeping.
so are you trying to say that she maintained a clockwise torque as she slowly withdrew the scope?
Actually, she had to anchor the scope. But
We don't anchor the scope, we don't hook the scope. You didn't do that. No, you didn't do that.
and then we have to withdraw the scope in right top.
Okay. So what I'm saying is what she did well is that when she applied the torque, how could she, now thinking of moving on, applied that torque that would have made it easier for her to do, which Sadhguru was trying to point out to you 3 times.
Sorry.
How could you have helped her apply that torque more effectively? You've got to think about this for when she comes on and says what she could have done better. So I'm asking you, how could you have helped her apply that torque in a more efficient manner, which Sajda told you 3 times. She was actually whispering in your ear, think about Just think about that, not yet. So what comes next? You've asked her what she did well. You've told her what you thought she did well. What's the next bit?
उसके बाद फीडबैक में क्या होता है?
Yes.
2 सवाल तो ये थे, 2 और थे, वो क्या थे?
But that's
नेक्स्ट टाइम वो क्या डिफरेंट कर सकती है?
yes, इससे बेहतर कैसे हो सकता है?
Next time, definitely, I should probably be very conscious about how I'm positioning myself. I tend to fall on the patient simply because the bed is higher. I should figure out another technique to make myself more comfortable, to lean on the patient less. And as you kept advising me to keep my left hand a bit away, so that is something that I'll try to do a little more. Because you mentioned it 2-3 times, sometimes I will remember in the middle of the procedure that my hand is falling back to the patient. So that really helped in flowing the transmission I was trying to toward or steer in. So yeah, just keep my position.
What do you think she could have done better?
Yes, by keeping distance between the patients, she was doing well.
So what's the take-home message?
I should get taller. Maybe I should go home and get taller.
That is the take-home message.
And this is off.
Yes,
Relax.
What's the take-home message?
Try to improve those areas which
Specific.
specific, keeping distance between the yourself and the patient, and the left and right hand, and try to avoid using both hands with talk steering.
Using both hands to talk to you.
Left hand. She was also using left hand for.
She? That's good. You mean she was doing what? Doing this? Or the hands were coming together?
Yes.
When she was holding the scope,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
the
I
hand which was holding the upper part of the scope, she was using that hand to
Yes,
stabilize
all
it
right.
then.
So avoid steering with the actual hand that's on the
Holding the
scope.
scope.
So I told her that yesterday, so I agree with you.
sometimes it's not.
How do you feel about his feedback? How do you feel that that feedback made you feel?
I think that is something that I was not aware of, so I.
How do you feel it was given to you? Do you
During the
feel it was
procedure or right
done?
now?
Was it clear? Was it concise?
The whole feedback.
Was his whole feedback? Was it clear? Was it concise? Was it consistent?
It's consistent. It wasn't so clear. It maybe wasn't so concise. It was a bit lost, but it is consistently what he said during the procedure. It's consistently mentioned right now, so I know this is something he noticed about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't clear. It wasn't concise. So how did that make you feel?
A little confused.
Thank you. Okay, she's a little bit confused. So what you've got to do is think about how it's going to become maybe a little bit better in Urdu when you're speaking Urdu, not in English. So it's, that's my fault for coming across. So if we actually think about, you actually stood in the same spot, never moved at all yourself. How can you actually monitor what's going on around you? So that's one thing that I noticed. So if you're actually going to do that. The other thing is that Noel's elbows right up in the air. Her elbows up here, level with
I
her ear.
heard your voice and I kept putting it down. Because you said that yesterday and I was just like, damn. I even looked at the TV screen, I was like, you saw that, I know you did.
And we saw that.
Elbows up. So it's very hard. So the other thing is that if you look at the scope, she was actually driving in a direction up parallel with the level of the trolley. That's the direction to be going, the patient's on. So if you were doing a rigid sigmoidoscopy, that's the direction you go. You wouldn't go that direction. And as a result of that, the whole scope would imagine it. That's what was making it difficult for her to do the torque steering. She was trying to apply the torque steering, but everything, because it was in a linear line, was causing the problem. So what you have to do is, if you moved, and actually if you'd have just moved 6 inches to the left, you'd have seen it, or 3 foot to the right, you'd have seen it. So when you come round the back of it, you'd have actually seen it. But biggest thing that you missed was what? Small wheel was pulled back. So when the small wheel's at a 10-2 position, and the actual wheel there, the little wheel is pointing forward, the tip of the scope is pointing forward, the actual wheel was pulled back. So this was now at 12 o'clock, which meant that the tip was this. And I could see the look on both your faces when you were going, I can't understand. When you applied torque, that's what you were getting. Then you're applying, and that's what you were getting. So when it doesn't look right, look at your wheels. So the little wheel had got caught and was pulled back. So neutralise your little wheel. When you're going to apply torque, it wants to be in this line. So always neutralise and start again. So if it's not looking right, check your wheels. Hands are too close together, that's fine. So how do we feed back to you? Feedback to feedback. What went well?
Well, they did well.
What do you think went well?
But the thing that, the thing which we are discussing here, that you have to be more attentive. Maybe this is because of the tension, you didn't pay attention to these things. But you have to take, you have to go around and you have to look all the things. And you are concentrating more on the screen actually. This is what we are observing from here. And sometimes you look at these her hand and other thing, but it is very infrequent. So frequently if you do, I think that would be better for us.
So, as a trainer, she had told you what she was having a problem with. So, what I would have done was just to make her stop and then ask her that what is happening, and then ask her what she's supposed, because she was lost when you asked her to, I think, de-loop and come back. So she was doing it at the same time, and you just told her, okay, just do a clockwise talk and leave. So maybe you two were not at the same page, so it would have been better to stop, ask her how she's going to overcome that. If you agreed with her, she could have proceeded. If you had a difference of opinion, you could have told her that it's better to go this way, try this now, and then do it, so that you all were at the same page.
De-loop means nothing. Absolutely means nothing. It's a nebulous term. So, what do you think is happening? Okay, how do I know what torque to put on? Now, this is starting to become conscious. How do I know which torque to put on? How do I know? We're discussing.
Yeah.
How do you know?
How do we know what torque to apply?
You have to feel the resistance, and the least resistance, when there is a least resistance, that torque needs to be applied.
So slowly apply the torque. How does it stop? How does that feel? Tight. Anti-clockwise, get to the same point. Yeah. How does that feel? Oh, okay. Stop. Draw back the scope. Right. Now slowly apply clockwise torque. How does that feel? Tight. How does that feel now? Loose. Okay, continue applying and withdrawing. That gives you the least resistance. Often loops that you get, you reduce by putting the torque on and then coming back and then finish doing this. A loop isn't this and this. It's not. But this, and it comes round and it causes problems, it causes a lot of pain. So it's actually take this back, clockwise resistance, not resistance, draw back, not resistance, draw back. Oh, no resistance, scope straight as goes forward. All the time.
And for both the movements hand movements to be transmitted to the tip, so you have to let the shaft go a bit loose. If you're holding it too tight, so that's what was happening.
Resisting it.
Yes, so you were holding it too tight here, and that this movement which you were making was not being transmitted.
The other thing it does are massive.
Yeah, I realized that too late.
I'm just looking at the time, maybe we'll get time for
One more at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you get that off. Into the feedback. Right, my friends, you're with me. Off we go.
No, but
Who's the trainee? Is this going to be normal here? Or
no, that's you.
That's it.
Off the stage. Off the stage. You've been stopped for long now.
अच्छा मैं टीम को पहले स्टार्ट किया कि ये आपने करना है ये नहीं करना है ये